Hello. So, in my last video, I talked about your mental health and mourning your spouse. It is only natural for life to change totally when your spouse dies. There's nothing wrong with you feeling isolated, feeling guilty, feeling angry, and feeling stuck, because this is someone you did not only promise to live forever together with, but you probably plan project, the children, the future, you'll be grandparents together, and all of a sudden they are no longer there. And so what do you do when it's so lonely? You walk into your bedroom, it's only you on this huge bed that used to be the two of you. The house just echoes. You still think that, well, my partner is in the bathroom, is in the kitchen, is in the dining room, and there is nobody there, just you. It's worse when your children are young and they cannot understand what you're going through, or maybe they're older and they're out of the house, or maybe you didn't even have children at all. Now, a lot of ways this loneliness can show up, or maybe it's that time of the month or time of the week where you just feel, oh well, I need to be cuddled. I want some intimacy. I want some emotional attention, and then you cannot just get it from anyone else until you begin to miss the person you used to share intimacy with, share the bedroom with, and then maybe you begin to cry. Then you begin to imagine, what is this life anyway? Now, when a spouse dies, it comes with a huge vacuum, and that vacuum is what brings about loneliness. For most people, they carry on like nobody understands what I'm going through, because you just feel this deep sense of loneliness. Unfortunately, for some people, loneliness after their spouse dies drives them into a relationship when they are not ready, because they believe that if they get into another relationship, then they can be better. Well, I don't know if that works for everybody, but I do not think that when your spouse dies, there is someone out there who can replace the spouse. Everyone in our lives can love us differently, and everyone in our lives can come to play their different roles. Now, the spouse who is dead and gone cannot just be replaced. It is not impossible for someone to love you in the same way or even more or less, but I don't think that there is one person who can replace another, especially when it comes to a spouse. So when you are thinking about, I'm lonely, what am I going to do? Be careful not to jump into another relationship just because you feel lonely. Number two, you want to be sure, why am I feeling this lonely? Some people get so lonely because they're missing the sex. If you are missing intimacy, and so because of that you want to go get involved with someone, by all means, instead, why not think about remarrying? There's nothing wrong with remarrying when your spouse dies. Even the Bible encourages young people to get married. I use the word young people because if people who are older may not want to bother because they may say, well, I'm not looking for children. But if you desire companionship and you're 60 and you can find someone at that age, by all means do it, so that when you are seeking intimacy and expecting to get intimacy, you are getting it within the confines of marriage, so you don't offend God and so you don't violate his principles. But if you're lonely and you think that, well, I miss having intimacy, think about remarrying. You may say, well, how long should a person wait to remarry after their spouse dies? I think that's very personal. However, we live in a society that believes that a person should wait for an ideal space of time, again, which varies depending on the person. So some people believe that, well, if you have young children, let them grow up a bit because you don't want to neglect them. That should be personal, and that should be a decision that a family can reach. But you must be able to put a finger on, why am I lonely, or what are the things that I'm lonely about? For instance, did I feel lonely at some point? Because a lot of people have also asked me that question, don't you feel lonely? Of course, I am human. I'm a young woman. Yes, I miss my husband a lot. for amongst a lot of things that I miss him for, there were times where I just talk. Now, on the outside, I can talk like this, but I can be very conservative. So having someone in the house who gave me time, who gave me a listening ear, who never judges or criticizes me, who will look into the things that I need to do, who would give his opinion, who would go out of his way to do things. I just miss all of that. And so whenever I'm putting a project together, I remember, oh, if he was here, he would have done this, he would have just listened to me. So companionship was something that I missed a great deal. And so because of that, what I did was to get my mentors involved, get my pastors involved in the things that I need to do, get my children involved, get my sibling involved, so that when I feel that, well, I'm running a project and I need someone to talk to, I can pick from any of these and get them to start talking to, instead of sitting back and wishing that, oh, this person is not here and so I'm holding back. I also know that if my husband were to be here, he wouldn't be happy that I'm holding on just because he cannot help me do the things that I need to do. So what is exactly that you are missing or you are lonely about? Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that all these alternatives will replace that person. I'm saying that these are situations that can be managed for maximum productivity, because you still have to live your life. You are still alive. There are still many things that you can accomplish before you go to join that spouse. So God has put people around you to help you. So now that leads me to the next point. When you are feeling lonely, you also have to ask yourself, do you have the right support system? Support system means, who are the people around you? Do not isolate yourself from people when you are mourning. Allow people to love you. Allow people into your space. Listen to people. Let them mourn with you the best that they can. When you allow people into your space in that time, you're going to feel a little less lonely. I'm not saying that all of the emotional needs that your partner used to give to you, these people can give them to you. But I am saying that when you allow people into your space, instead of being rigid, instead of wishing that, oh, this person, nobody can be like my wife, nobody can be like my husband, you will be stuck in that mourning phase that you will not be able to move on and enjoy life again. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about when should one be getting ready for marriage. Now, a lot of people have also asked me that question. So, are you going to remarry? When are you going to remarry? Now, I know I'm not the only one in this situation. I really wish I can hear from other young widows the kind of questions people are asking them about their this interesting phase of life. I would encourage you to look forward to the next video, where I'll be talking about when should a person who's lost a spouse get into another relationship, or when should they marry, or how should they manage their sexual life. Bye.